Peace, it's your boy, oh God, hip hop news, uncensored. I got this story in. I wanted to speak on real quick before I close the night out. Kodak Black, as you know, the rapper Kodak Black, um, is facing 8 years in prison. Believe it or not, anywhere from probation to being let out to 8 years in prison. Kodak Black was arrested during a court hearing in Fort Lauderdale for allegedly violating the terms of his house arrest while he was in the middle of his comeback tour. You know what I mean? One thing that these rappers have to understand is that the system is like, just because you get money, fame, and a little bit of you get a little cocky and everything. You got to remember, you still in the system. That has that makes examples out of people like you all day long. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful because the judge can easily come in and hit you, easily, with, the 8 years if you wanted to. We just seen Kevin Gates earlier today get hit, with a 3 year, damn near 3 year sentence for something that come on now, it's a gun. Okay, I understand, but it's like he didn't harm nobody. He's a high profile rapper. I think he kind of needs protection at the end of the day from people that might want to rob him for his jewelry and the cash that he carries. You feel me? Just little stuff like that, and so these things like that are just nuances in the system that have to be reformed ultimately, and we have to, us being media, has to be responsible enough to make sure that we talk about these different things and not overlook it as if it's not a systemic problem, in our country. Young black males, being treated, unfairly, excuse me, in the justice system. So Kodak Black is facing 8 years, depending on what source you read. Um, Different sources say different things. So some people are saying that he may walk. Some people are saying that he may, he may get sentenced to some time. He may get time served. His lawyer seems pretty confident that he's going to be released, but somehow when you're looking around, you just see no mercy. You know what I mean? Kevin Gates. I mean, we can go down the list, of these. Just like, really, you know what I mean? So you just can't never forget the message here. You know, it's just don't ever forget. What at the end of the day. At the time of Kodak's arrest, his attorney, Gary Collin, and Alan Steven Zamrin insisted the young rapper would be out soon. Again, according to one source. But in court this past Friday, a judge set a continuation hearing, um, to decide whether or not Kodak is a danger, to Broward County residents, and whatnot. And these charges are going all the way back from October 2015. He was arrested and accused of forcing people into a car after he suspected someone of breaking into someone's home. He was released on bond, but arrested again in April 2016 for a suspected drug deal in Hallandale Beach. Last August, as we know, Kodak Black, had no contest to charges including robbery, false imprisonment, fleeing a law enforcement officer, and possession of a firearm by a delinquent, facing a maximum of 55 years in prison. He was instead sentenced to 1 year of house arrest and 5 years of probation. The terms of that plea deal made Kodak, to leave his home for work purposes, shows and whatnot, tours and whatnot. So As you go further, Kodak allegedly visits to a strip club in Miami and a boxing match in Cincinnati were not approved beforehand. His lawyers argued that both appearances were promotional in nature and therefore work related. But Kodak's probation officer, Sandy Friedman, said regardless of whether the rapper was actually working at the appearances, he didn't get approvals, for him. Again, no mercy. No mercy from, the T.I. song. Kodak also apparently failed to complete mandated anger management courses in court on Friday. Friedman played videos of Kodak's alleged cursing about the classes and coming to one late. You can see one of those videos. You know, but see, this is the crazy part, right? Kodak in the system, they get I gotta hurry up because my Mac was about to die. They get in the system and they forget. They forget. They think because they got money, because they got fame, because they got riches, that like you won't get the hammer on you. Like the judge is not gonna give a damn about that because 9 times out of 10, that damn judge is living right next to you when you a rapper, dude. So that little bit of rap money that you getting ain't nothing. You're still a black man in America. And you're going to be treated as such. History. We can't argue against history. This history is what it is. History is written and shows you what it is. So until we start seeing some change, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't be punished, not by a long, but what's it? Cruel and unusual punishment. You know what I mean? Why should somebody have control over what somebody chooses to carry or where somebody goes? You understand what I'm saying? That's a little, on the other end. But then you have the argument. People say, well, this person's a criminal. You know what I mean? And then we have to get into define what a criminal is. And so, look, all we know right now is that this brother is facing peace, Wax Dog, 8 years, or from anything from 8 years to time served. But for now, it's April 26th. You're gonna stay in there for another week. You ain't going nowhere. I don't give a how much money you got, how much you paid your lawyer, how many hundreds of thousands you paid your lawyer, what your name is, how many fans you got scream your name. You're gonna sit in there another week until we decide what we're gonna do with you. That sounds like property to me. That sounds like property to me. I mean, I'm just, you know, maybe I'm aloof. Maybe, my worldview is warped, but that's what it is. Kevin Gates, okay, he's 6 months, he kicked somebody. Okay. We can argue that, okay, he did it. Now in Chicago, a weapons charge. He had a gun. He didn't use a gun. Nobody got hurt. Nobody died. All the people dying in Chicago. Think about it. People getting killed all day in Chicago. He just had a gun. Oh, so you think you prevented something? Well, yeah, I would want to prevent a murder if the murder was on me. If somebody was trying to murder me, yeah, I want to prevent that. No different than police officers and officials and this regular old Billy Joe Bob has a pistol or guns or protection in their house, a means to protect them, guard dogs or whatever, because they don't want nobody encroaching upon their stuff. You know what I mean? So it just so happens that the what only 12 million of your population, even lower that African American males, 12% of the population, right? The males even lower, but he is criminalized the most. He get locked up the most. How do you justify that? How do you justify that? That's all I want to know. How do you justify it? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is with this. Y'all see what it is. Kodak Black is facing 8 years um, in prison. In prison. And we can go into the whole prison industrial complex, the profiteers, the people that profit from it. And we're going to get into all that. But make sure you go into the description box right now, family, and subscribe to our new channels right now. Subscribe right now. Sub now. Sub now to Hip Hop News Reloaded and In the Black Sports Media. Anybody who's listening live right now, I just dropped in the chat room. As I'm chatting right now as Hip Hop News Reloaded. You can click it in the chat room right now and sub to that page. My battery is on 6%, so I'm getting ready to go out. But yeah, just wanted to report the news. Everybody, how the media is today. But when you come over here, you're gonna get the real. You're gonna be uncensored. You're gonna get the real. You know what I mean? Nothing watered down. So that's what separates us from the other guys. You know what I mean? You're gonna get the real. So it's your boy, oh God, Hip Hop News Uncensored. Go in the description box right now and subscribe to Hip Hop News Reloaded. We're gonna reload it, give you fresh new content. I got something uploading now for that channel. Also in the Black Sports Media. They may be changing real soon, but subscribe to both of them. It will be highlighted in blue right in the description box. It's very, very easy. You can actually do it while you're listening to me right on your phone by hitting the arrow button all the way to the right. Clicking on the blue words and subscribing to the channel. It takes less than 20 seconds and it helps us. And I definitely appreciate y'all, for coming out tonight. It's late. I wanted to share this with my heart. And everybody have a good night. We'll be back. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm Hip Hop News Reloaded and Sports Media in the description box. I'm about to upload a great informative video there tonight. You're gonna love. It's your boy, oh God. Peace and have a beautiful night, family.